Okay, this might have been a mistake. We bought the Subaru Justy for €600, hoping for a couple of problems. But at first start, after sitting for a couple of days, we have blue smoke. A lot of it. Not forgetting the engine light, and while working on this engine, we saw some previous owner engineering. So today, we're opening up the engine. First step, remove everything in the way, from coils, air intake, breather tubes and more. More space is less stress. I am curious, what do you guys think? Easy fix or hidden disaster? Now the moment of truth. At first sight, it doesn't look terrible. It's not the cleanest, but it looks okay. Blue smoke usually means oil is entering the combustion chamber. These Suzuki G13BB engines are known for their valve stem seals going bad. So we're hoping it's that and not something worse like piston rings. The engine is running strong, so we're hoping we can stop the smoke with a true DIY fix. But then we discovered this. Real previous owner engineering. This bolt is clearly loose, and this one is even missing. This is why magnets are essential. So I'm guessing someone has been here before and didn't put everything back together correctly. Great. To get access, we have to remove the accessory belts. First removing the wheel and then loosening the first belt. Second belt is loosened by the alternator. To improve access, we have to lower the engine. This is done by putting a jack under the oil pan with a block of wood between it. Please don't forget the wood because you will regret it. By unscrewing the passenger engine support, we can lower the engine down. Now we have full access to the crank pulley. After removing the crank pulley, we also have to remove the water pump pulley. And then one more belt to go, the most important one, the timing belt. Just relieving the tension and take it off. Normally you lock the engine into place, but we have to turn the engine later on. Finally, the camshaft. Loosening the camshaft bridges evenly and removing them together with the camshaft. The camshaft itself looks good, so that's good news. Now something we weren't expecting. While removing the inlet rockers, we noticed that the springs holding them into place have snapped. Not one, but 3. We're replacing the valve stem seals without removing the head, making this much more DIY. Sounds crazy, but let's give it a try. First, taking out the spark plugs. The first couple, no problem, but on the last one we discovered this. An oil covered spark plug. Probably from the valve cover leaking, but luckily we have replacing the seal anyway. Now we have the rope trick. First I stuck something in the spark plug hole, lowering the piston down to its lowest point. Next, rope inside, piston goes up until it stops but don't force it, and rope prevents the valve from falling down into the combustion chamber. If it would fall in the chamber, it's game over and the head probably has to come off. Replacing the old seals is straightforward, using our tool to take off the valve springs, and then using the supply tool to pull off the old seal. You see me taking off this with ease, but in reality this took 10 minutes because they're hardened and brittle. Some jobs look simple until you have to repeat them 16 times. Like I said, the old springs were snapped from these rocker arms, so off with the old and on with the new. The new springs didn't come easy, these are actually off a Suzuki Jimny. While the camshaft is out, I replace the camshaft seals. Again, the old one is hard, while the new one is fresh and flexible. Assembly time. Never put the camshaft in dry. So first some oil, then the camshaft, and then the caps can go back on with the bolts in their original places. On the internet, I found my current favorite book, the Suzuki G13BB engine manual. I couldn't find anything Subaru related, but this is the same engine. We torqued according to the manual because aluminum heads are unforgivable. Some say tighten until it snaps and then a quarter turn back, but we are gonna trust the manual on this one. And obviously not forgetting the missing and the loose bolt from the previous owner engineering. We said in a previous video that the timing belt has been done about 2.5 years ago. This engine requires a new belt every 5 years. Would you replace or reuse in this situation? We choose to replace, seeing it's off anyway. Installing the new tensioner, making sure the engine is on its timing marks, installing the new belt, and then following the procedure for tension. First making sure the tensioner is hand tight, spinning the engine 2 rotations, and then torquing the tensioner. Next, the rest of the assembly. The covers, the pulleys, the belts, the supports, and everything you can think of on the side of the engine. Also don't forget to put in the wiring harness. Before we can install the new valve cover, we have to set the valve clearance, using our trusty manual for the correct adjustments. Before we finish the install, we are finishing a work from the previous video. The check engine light was on due to a bad O2 sensor. Last time I took it out, this time I'll clean up the threads with some cutting oil and installing the new O2. On to cleaning. The old hardened gasket comes off and the cover gets a good clean. The new gaskets get installed, and again, the old one is horribly hardened, while the new one is nice and flexible. installing the valve cover, and torquing everything to spec. For now we are reusing the old spark plugs, because we have to burn off the excess oil inside the engine. Installing the coils, the cover of the exhaust, the new O2, air inlet, the reader tubes, and everything to put this engine back together. Now it's time for the first start. And as you can see, the engine light is off. On the button. Obviously, it's a little bit tappety, but that's because the engine was taken apart. This cleared up after about 10 seconds. Now off camera we're going to leave the car running for about 30 minutes, so all the old oil in the combustion chamber can get burned off. In the next episode we're going to do a full service, a full cleanup, inside and outside. Today was a big success because our wordless wheel Subaru is a little bit less wordless. See you next time.